You know, when you think about Japanese car culture, your mind probably jumps straight to the legends, right? The GTRs, the Supras, all the poster cars from that golden era. But this story, well, it goes down a different road. This is about the underdogs, the weird, quirky, and affordable little cars that are just packed with charm and ingenuity.
And that really brings us to the big, scary question at the heart of this whole thing. I mean, it's a huge gamble, isn't it? A total leap of faith that could end in an amazing win or just a complete disaster. As you're about to see, this one was kind of a bit of both.
And this quote? It absolutely nails the philosophy here. This was never about getting some perfect, high-dollar collector car. No, this is about the experience, the character, and the kind of unforgettable stories you can only get from a true automotive nugget.
So let's meet the hero of our story. This is the 1986 Honda City Turbo 2. Now, this thing was born out of Japan's wild bubble economy in the 80s. It was a time when car companies were just flush with cash and basically in a war to see who could build the most fun, the most ridiculous, and the most turbocharged little cars you could imagine.
What's so amazing about this car is how Honda just took a normal little city car and went completely bonkers with it. They called it the Bulldog for a reason. It got this awesome wide-body kit, a big power bulge on the hood for the turbo, racing seats, a digital boost gauge, and get this, it even had a little refrigerated glove box for your sodas. 100 horsepower from a tiny 1.2-liter engine was absolutely insane back then. This car was built for one thing, and one thing only, to be fun.
So you can imagine the excitement of finally getting behind the wheel of this thing. It's like a real-life 8-bit video game. But that amazing feeling, yeah, it didn't last very long. Almost right away, it was obvious that this dream came with a very, very big catch. The reality of it was just crushing. The car was seriously broken. It was shaking violently, felt like it was only running on 3 cylinders, and was making absolutely no power. The turbo was dead silent. The little dream machine could barely even get out of its own way.
And then there's this number. The number that just makes your stomach drop. $25,000. That's what was paid for the car alone, sight unseen from an auction in Japan. Suddenly, the stakes for this whole adventure got incredibly high.
This quote pretty much sums up the situation perfectly. See, when you factor in the cost of this car's very special accessory, and we'll get to that in a minute, the total investment was pushing $30,000, all for a car that was, at that moment, basically a very expensive paperweight.
So picture the challenge here. You have to fix a super rare, almost 40-year-old Japanese car, while you're in Japan with no workshop and pretty much zero chance of finding spare parts. This was going to take some serious creativity. Some real roadside bush mechanic-style ingenuity. All right, let's break down how they attack the problem. For any basic engine to run, it just needs 4 things. We call them air, fuel, squish, and bag. That's your air intake, your fuel system, compression in the cylinders, and a spark to light it all off. The mission was simple. Figure out which one of those 4 things was missing. They started working through it, one system at a time. The ignition leads were old and crusty, so that was a suspect. Then they found the fuel filter, and it was just packed with rusty junk, a pretty clear sign the car had been sitting for a long time. The one bit of good news? A compression test showed the engine itself was actually healthy. But the bad news? Finding any of the other parts was proving next to impossible. And this is where things get really creative. Turns out, a tiny broken part in the distributor was the main culprit. A replacement was going to cost over $900 and take days to ship. The alternative? A tube of superglue. It's a perfect example of the kind of resourcefulness you need to keep a dream like this alive. Sometimes you just got to use what you have. And believe it or not, after a very long night of tinkering, some sketchy fixes, and probably a little bit of luck, the City Turbo was making boost again. It was running. So, with the car finally working, it was time to unleash its legendary and equally quirky little sidekick. And here it is, the Honda Moto Compo. This thing is so cool. It wasn't some random accessory. It was an official option from Honda, designed to fold up and fit perfectly in the trunk of the City. The whole idea was brilliant. You drive your car to the outskirts of a busy city, park it, and then unfold this tiny scooter to zip through all the traffic. It's just pure, unfiltered 80s genius.
Just look at the comparison between these two. It's fantastic. The car has 100 horsepower, while the scooter is working with a mighty 2.5. This combo isn't about raw speed. It's about a complete and completely charming way to get around.
Both of them are total nuggets that really define an era when car companies just wanted to have fun.
Okay, so with both nuggets up and running, this adventure needed a big finish. And what better place to do it than Suzuka Motorland? It's this tight, tricky little grassroots circuit right in the heart of Honda's home turf. This was where the car was going to get pushed to its absolute limit. And of course, every hero needs a rival. The opponent for the day was a Honda Beat, a tiny little 90s sports car. And it represents a totally different way of thinking. You've got the City, which is all about 80s brute force and turbo power, against the Beat, which is all about 90s precision, pure handling, and lightweight finesse. It was a proper showdown.
And the race was just epic. On the straightaways, the City's turbo power was just a monster. It would pull away like crazy. But then, in every single corner, that nimble little Beat would be right back there, glued to its bumper. It took some seriously aggressive, defensive driving to keep it behind. And then, disaster struck. The old engine, pushed way past its comfort zone, finally gave up. The turbo went silent, and the car went straight into limp mode.
But you know what? That failure on the track, it didn't even feel like a loss. This quote really gets to the heart of the whole trip. This car was never supposed to be a flawless race car. Its imperfections, the struggles to get it running, and its fighting spirit, that's what made the adventure so great. It's the perfect definition of a nugget.
And so, that's where our story comes to a close. The little Honda City Turbo 2, broken, repaired, raced, and loved, along with its Moto Compo sidekick, successfully finished their epic Japanese road trip. They're now on a boat, heading to a new life down under. The gamble? Well, it absolutely paid off.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. In a world that seems obsessed with perfect cars and resale value, this whole story kind of champions the exact opposite. It makes you think that maybe the memories you make, the problems you solve, and the challenges you overcome, maybe that's all worth a lot more than some perfect machine that just sits in a garage. So, what do you think?